Hi, welcome to this episode of Founder's Journey on InsurTech.io. Today I have Timon Gregg from Strala. How are you, Timon?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Jeff?
Good. So, backstory here. Timon and I, we connected on LinkedIn one day and we're just chatting about his company. I noticed that I think you guys just announced the institution investment into your company. And I'm like, that's interesting. So I'm trying to figure out what you guys do and how you guys involved and connected with InsurTech. And then one thing led to another. I'm like, okay, let's do a podcast on these guys. And today we are lucky to have you on the podcast, Timon. I'm going to give you the mic. And if you can tell our audience about your background, how'd you get involved, into InsurTech and what led the process from the beginning, finding you a co-founder and where you are today?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for having us on. We really do appreciate that. So all of this started kind of with my co-founder. My co-founder has a background in statistics and maths, and then started kind of doing his postgraduate research in NLP, and was kind of about to start his PhD when he got hired out of that by a company called Quantco, which does a lot of like statistical models and pricing for big carriers. And he was in the newly created claims automation team. And so for the last 2 years, all he has done is using AI to automate part of the claims value chain, all across from FNOL to coverage check to fraud checks to adjustment to final payout. And he saw that there were a lot of problems with building kind of this middleware layer for claims tech, especially if the ununified database is missing. So if you do something like this on something like Guidewire, often the effectiveness only gets to a certain degree. And we'd known each other from before. My background is I studied at Oxford. I worked at a few larger corporates and then startups, and said, okay, there's a unique opportunity to build a full end-to-end TPA here, where we do a lot of the tech better, which just delivers a superior service to the customers, both in the terms of responsiveness and cycle times, but also in what it does for loss ratio to insurers. And just to kind of like reiterate on that, what we do is like both the full end-to-end claims processing as a TPA for property and casualty, and then we sell pieces of our software. So that can be automated coverage check, that can be a fully digital FNOL piece, or that can be things like fraud checks.
So if we can slow down a little bit and go in the beginning, what made you realize there's a problem? You and your co-founder, there's a problem in insurance legacy TPA systems, whether it's, what gave you guys the experience and the idea? How did it develop there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we saw it really firsthand. We saw in the TPAs kind of how they were operating. Cycle times for a lot of lines are more than 30 days. We saw that the kind of payout was really unoptimized. There's a lot of fraud that is happening that isn't picked up. The incentives really aren't aligned. And we thought there must be a better way, especially now that we can use technology to really drive and automate a lot of the manual work. We think there's a huge chance to build a TPA where the claims adjusters just focus on the most important things, such as the actual adjustment and the customer interaction.
And you're not from the US. What about your co-founder?
My co-founder is also not from the US, but we both moved here full time. We're planning to live here full time as well. So we're over here right now. We're setting up our company fully as an American entity, and US is the place where we want to be.
Okay. And where you guys from?
So I am originally from Germany, but I've lived in the UK the past few years. I studied there at Oxford and then worked for a bit in London. And my co-founder is from Switzerland.
Okay. I'm so curious here. This might not be about your company. What is it like to be an innovator, founder of a company? You want to build something, make you guys decide, you know what, we want to build in the US, we want to relocate to the US. What's that whole process like talking between you and your co-founder and make you guys say, hey, let's go do this? Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
it was kind of clear from the beginning. Jeff, I think you know this, you probably get this on the podcast all the time, but things in the US are just bigger and faster. And I think these are the two most important things to any company. And for us, it was clear that the US is the place where we need to be.
And where in the US are you guys located now?
So we're currently based in San Francisco. Our team is based here as well. Our team at the moment is still relatively small, but we are getting larger and larger. And currently, we're working here out of our investor's office. Our investor is Entrepreneur First. They were also the first backer in Tractable, which I assume, Jeff, you will know. They do a lot of the auto damage assessment. And yeah, based in San Francisco.
So it makes a lot of sense because Silicon Valley is right there in your backyard. There's so much talent. Who invested in you guys? Are you comfortable sharing that information?
Yeah, I said our main investor is Entrepreneur First. They are kind of like their whole thesis evolves around talent. They think really the most crucial thing is getting really great technical talent, such as my co-founder, to really build these like generational companies where you can really see the opportunity where you have to tackle a really hard technical problem, such as we both know claims is. Claims is really, really complex, and there's a lot of things that you have to be aware of to tackle this, and then to give them the best tools to succeed. And they've done quite a bit of insurtech before, such as Tractable, which I think is like valued in the hundreds of millions, which does a lot of auto damage assessment using computer vision.
And then walk me through the AI component, right? And then also walk me through like where you guys at in the stage of building, if you can show us.
Yeah. So there's a few different things that we do. Essentially, if we really simplify the claims process, it's a 5-step process. First step, FNOL, so that's data intake. That can either happen digitally or that can happen through a kind of like call center or a similar thing. Second step is coverage check. Third step is fraud check. Fourth step is adjustment. And fifth step is the payment or vendor steering. And for each of these parts, we think there's a lot of technology built that can do this better. First step, we have built, for example, an autonomic call center that can take in these calls, receive the information, talk intelligently to the person, and put all the data fully structured into the claims management system. And I think the best way to talk about this is just to show this. And so I have my phone here with me. We have a demo phone number, which I can also, our demo phone number, if you want to try it out at home, is +1 415 949 2096. And I'll just call it right now and just to show how it works.
Hello, this is Sarah Mitchell from Strala. How can I assist you with your auto claim today?
Hi, Sarah. This is Timon. I crashed my car, unfortunately. I had an accident.
Hello, Timon. Thank you for calling. I'm sorry to hear about your accident. Could you please provide me with your full name?
Yes, my full name is Timon Gregg.
Thank you, Mr. Timon Gregg. Could you please provide your policy number?
I don't have my policy number with me. I think I don't remember it.
That's all right, Mr. Gregg. We can proceed without the policy number. Could you tell me when the incident occurred? I'll need the date and approximate time.
Yes, the incident occurred on December the 4th at around 9:13 a.m.
Thank you for that information. I have noted that the incident occurred on December 4th at approximately 9:13 a.m. Could you please describe what happened in detail?
Yes, so I was here in San Francisco and I was driving down Washington Lane in my Cybertruck when a Nissan came and hit me from the side, and then I paused and a truck hit me from the back.
I understand, Mr. Gregg. Let me make sure I have this correctly. You were driving on Washington, Maine in San Francisco when you were involved in a multiple vehicle collision, first being hit from the side by a Nissan and then hit from behind by a truck. Is that correct? Now, I need some information about your vehicle. Could you please tell me the make and model?
And so we could go on and on, but I think the gist you kind of get, right? It's the voice that sounds human. It's available 24/7. So you can always pick up the phone when your customers need it. And it's a lot cheaper than an outsourced call center. The documentation is really clear. There's a transcript, there's a recording, and then the structured data gets fed straight into the claim system. And so this is what we think that we can really do. We can think through this technology, we can really improve the kind of like loss ratio aspect or like the operational efficiency of the TPA, as well as the customer service.
Nice. Are you guys in demo stage, pilot stage right now with any carriers or TPA companies?
So we have clients. I don't think I'm fully at liberty to talk about this, but we have 6-figure revenue and we have enterprise clients.
That's awesome. And how long before you guys go from injection to the C round to getting six-figure revenue?
So we've been moving pretty rapid. Me and my co-founder, I think, have been working on this like 4 to 5 months now. We officially incorporated around 3 months ago, and have now things have been moving very, very fast for us.
That's great. It's pretty impressive. And does your AI function in languages outside of English?
Yes, so it works really well in Spanish. And then we've trialed other languages. In German, it's okay, it's not great, but in Spanish, it's pretty good. It kind of depends, right, on how the foundational models that underlie it, how much of this language have they seen, and how well were they trained on it.
And think about experience, right? Like the product you deliver, you gotta have the experience.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the B2B experience and also the D2C experience?
Yeah, so I think the thing that we really focus on is the like customer experience, right? You want the customer to call this spot and you want to feel it taken care of. We all, like, for example, hate being put on the line. We hate speaking to something that's mechanic. So I think this is the thing where we really focus on the product. And the same with the like other kind of like externally facing stuff that kind of like just the claim adjuster sees. For example, the automated coverage check is things that we really want to feel like the product really works. And then I think with the B2B, the main kind of aspect is people hear, okay, 24/7 availability, full scalability, happy customers, and all of this at a price point that is very advantageous compared to outsourced call centers.
Nice. And how about integrations? Every call that come in integration of audio recordings, transcript recordings, how are you guys doing with that?
So all of this is, I think, as you know this, Jeff, for every insurance company, there's different workflows. So we really like to tailor build it.
Different workflow for everybody. It's a shame because there's so many barriers to claw through.
Exactly. And so we built this product with that in mind first, that we need to have something where we can take your script, we can take your processes, we can take your historical claims, and really adapt it to it and then tailor it to it. And so that's the one aspect of it. The second aspect, I think, as you mentioned, Jeff, integrations. That's another one of the big pain points. And we're now at a point, I mean, of course, the less APIs we have to call, the easier it is, and the more our implementation timeline gets cut down. But generally, even if most claims management systems that we've spoken to and trialed with now, we can even input the data fully in the claims management system in the structured format that you want, plus provide you the transcript, plus provide you the recording. And so it's that full service where we really say, okay, this doesn't just like service your customers, but this also for the first time really gives you all of the data that you want and need.
So the transcript and the recording does also go to the customers?
So if you want that, we haven't had a customer, so we haven't had one of our business customers who wanted that, but generally this is technologically quite trivial on top of that.
I am just curious how often clients request a conversation to be sent to them.
I think this is more a second step. I think sometimes clients request that, but that's often then the TPA or the insurer that they requested from. And then they can just take this out of their claims management system and send it to them because they have it ready and easy to go.
How do you guys grow?
So currently it's B2B. So we're at all the big conferences, we're doing email, we're doing LinkedIn, and we're doing things like meeting you and really trying to get big and get known in the industry.
How do you guys scale?
I think a lot of it will be word of mouth. I think people will hear about this. I think people will use our different solutions and say, okay, this is really for the first time, like a big game lever again, right? This is really one of the things where like there's a clear paradigm shift. This makes a lot of sense from an ROI, from a timeline perspective to use this. And I think that will carry a lot forward. I think another thing, Jeff, which might be interesting for your listeners is that we're thinking and actively looking to buy TPAs. So if one of your listeners has a small TPA and property and casualty, I think that's another conversation that we definitely are currently having with people. And that is interesting to us to buy and work with currently existing TPAs on how we can like augment and kind of like put our technology to play.
That's a good answer to the second one. I'll just keep on going with the questions. How do you guys stay ahead of all your competitions? Because there's 2.5 million plus developers, creators, founders, ChatGPT AI, right?
Absolutely. I think the thing it comes down to is like our absolute customer focus. One, my co-founder this is what he's been doing for the past few years. Claims is his space. Building technology for claims is really his forte. And then second, we're like majorly obsessed with getting this right, getting kind of technology really tailored to what the insurance industry needs, what the carrier's customers want, and what the carriers want to get out of this. And so we're like a very specific, we're not one of these companies that say we do AI for everything. We are claims AI.
Man, this is an interesting episode. I have a lot of questions, but I'm trying to like fit it together. What's your next path in terms of growing your team?
Yeah, so we're probably going to be raising funding, or we're going to be raising funding end of January and February. And I think after that, the team will grow a lot. We're going to get a lot more engineers on board and really, really scope it out from there.
So the next few steps is keep on growing engineering.
Yeah, I think the biggest hiring thing will be engineering focused. We're also going to get claims people in. So if there are any experienced head of claims, chief claims officers that are thinking they want to run a claims team, and they also want to do the sales facing part, we need the unique mix of both. Please also do reach out to me, because we are hiring claims people and we're hiring engineers. Because I think that's the other thing. I think in insurance, that's one of the things a lot of people try to do, is they try to just get sales reps from other industries in that then hit insurance people. But claims people and insurance people want to talk claims with claims people, right? And this is one of the things where we say, this is where that unique focus really gives us the competitive advantage.
Nice. I should just send you an intake form. So if you get a chance, fill it out. So this way that our audience, when they finish listening to this episode, they can go in the comment section, connect with you, connect with your company, and reach out to you guys.
Yeah.
Timon, thank you for coming on this episode. And you guys are in the perfect timing. This is like ground level right now on all the AI that's evolving insurance. And I think as unstructured data get liberated, you guys are going to be ahead of the competition. But, it's a tough ecosystem because there's a lot of smart money that's investing into this ecosystem.
Yeah.
So I am impressed and I'm excited to see your journey. So I'd love to have you back on when you guys raise the next round and talk a little bit more about where you guys at from this episode to the next episode in terms of revenue growth, engineering, and problem solvings, and then developments.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Thank you, Jeff, for having us on. Thank you for doing this podcast. I think it's great for the industry, and that you really bring these two worlds of tech and insurance together. I really think that's a great thing to do.
Nice. Thank you very much, Timon.